Somenos Marsh is in danger. We are here to do something about it, and we need your help.
Somenos Marsh is a very sensitive ecosystem.
The marsh prevents flooding by holding water much like a sponge. The plant life in the marsh slows the water down and prevents erosion.
The marsh has a lot of color and life. It is home to many animals, frogs, insects, and fish. One special bird that comes to the marsh is a trumpeter swan.
Plants trap dirt and keep the shores and banks in place.
Plants provide nesting materials, shelter, and food for the ducks, herons, and other birds. The marsh is also important to water quality. It acts as a filter, protecting the quality of water going into the Cowichan River.
Did you know that less than 3% of the world's water is fresh? The rest is seawater or undrinkable. 2.5% of the fresh water is frozen. That leaves 0.5% of water in the world for drinking, growing foods, and providing water for animals.
The earth doesn't have a lot of fresh water, so we need to look after it. Water is precious.
Unfortunately, parts of the Somenos Marsh have been destroyed. People have built roads, stores, or houses on the land. When we do this, animals lose their homes. But worse, we dump our pollutants into the marsh.
Where does all the oil, salt, and toxins from the cars go? Down the storm drains.
Where does all the storm drains empty? Into Somenos Marsh.
Oil, gas, salt, and other toxins get washed off the pavement and drain into the marsh. How can we change this? We know the marsh acts as a filter for pollution, but it can only take so much pollution.
The birds, animals, and frogs depend on the water in our marshes to be clean. If the plants and animals die, we also die. We have to protect our water.
The marsh's greatest enemy is man. We have paved, drenched, and polluted the marsh. We know it costs a lot of money to keep the marsh clean, but what are the costs if we don't keep the water clean?
What happens to the wildlife, the plants, the Cowichan River, the ocean, the fish, the insects, and us if the water becomes too polluted? Would this be our future? Do you want your children and grandchildren to live through all the agony and despair of a polluted world?
Do you want the world to end up like Wall-E movie and we all have to move to space?
Clean water is going to be more valuable than oil. Nothing on earth will survive without clean water. So would you please help us invest in the future and protect the marsh? If we keep our fresh water clean, then everyone and everything wins.
We are asking if you could monitor the pollution levels in the marsh and lake, particularly what is coming out of the storm drains. And could the results be public? Would it be possible to do this twice a year?
Could you make sure that the remaining land around the lake and marsh doesn't get subdivided or built on? Thank you for listening to us and working toward building a cleaner, safer world. We would like to give a very special thanks to the following people.
Produced by the Make a Difference students at Bench Elementary School.